Welcome back. It has been a rough first half for the airline. Shares of most carriers, the major carriers, have fallen sharply due to the pandemic. And now, as they slowly add back flights, they're also preparing for layoffs. Phil LeBeau joins us now with more on that. Phil.
Andrew, sort of an interesting time for the airlines because they are adding flights, and as they add flights, they're going to have more of their workers who may have been on a slower rotation or no rotation at all, put them back into the rotation. At the same time, a lot of those workers potentially could be laid off come October 1st. All of this comes at a time when the passenger levels, they have increased, but we're certainly not seeing the V snapback. We're averaging about 630,000 passengers. Compare that with 2.4, 2.3 million the same time last year, down 76%. States of play. We do this survey on a number of topics around the country here at CNBC, and the most recent one that was done, the results just came out. Look at this. The number of people who feel it is safe to say, or the percentage of people who answered the survey think it's safe to fly. 56% say no, it's not safe to fly, and that's actually an increase from the previous States of Play survey a week or two ago. 25% say it is safe to fly, 19% unsure. The airlines, they are trying to push this message that you will be safe if you wear a mask and you follow their guidelines. Here is a video put out yesterday by United CEO Scott Kirby.
If you refuse to wear a mask, we're just not going to allow you to travel on United until the pandemic is over. And it really is about protecting others and protecting their safety. And we're serious about this. You just got to do the right thing.
While the airlines are pushing hard to get more people on board, get more people flying, the fact of the matter is, whether it's pilots, flight attendants, whoever it might be, warn notices are coming. Now, these are required by federal law whenever you are going to have mass layoffs. Airlines, any company, they have to notify their workers that a certain percentage may receive layoff notice or may be laid off at least 60 days in the future. Delta has already sent out warn notices to about 2,500 pilots saying, look, come October 1st, we're going to have more pilots than we will need. And as a result, about 2,500, maybe more than 2,500, could be laid off come October 1st. As you take a look at the airline stocks, this is not just a Delta problem, guys. This is all airlines. They will have to do this come October 1st. They are not seeing the increase in passenger levels that they were hoping for when the Payroll Protection Act went through. That was their hope, is that they could keep everybody employed and then they'd have enough business come October 1st. That's just not happening. So you're going to see more of these types of notices over the next 3-4 weeks, certainly by August 1st.
Phil, separately, give us a little bit of an update. Yesterday we talked about Boeing 737 MAX testing those flights. What happened with that recertification flight?
Well, they had two of them yesterday, two recertification flights, one where they left Boeing Field just a little south of Seattle, and then they went out, it's about an hour away to Moses Lake, and then they did another one in Moses Lake, and that was really interesting because FlightAware, which tracks all flights, was tracking this flight, and you could see the maneuvers that they were doing. And they are essentially going through a list of very specific scenarios that were laid out by the FAA. The test pilot, by the way, is an FAA test pilot. So the FAA, working with Boeing, said, look, we need to test X, Y, and Z, a whole long list, and there are very specific parameters. So they had two of those flights yesterday, Andrew. You will see more test flights, certification flights today and tomorrow. By the way, this is the 737 MAX coming back from its second certification flight as it was preparing to land at Boeing Field just a little south of Seattle.
Hey, Phil, Secretary Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin is going to be speaking to Congress today, and I think he's going to be talking about how additional stimulus packages are very likely going to focus on industries that have seen the worst trouble. He could be pointing out to tourism industries and to the airline industry in particular. Do you think additional funds coming from Congress or coming in some way from the Treasury would persuade any of these companies to not lay off some of those people that they're planning on at this point?
It would have to be direct again, Becky. It would have to be direct as it was last time. Look, they got more than $50 billion. I think it was $59 billion for both the airlines as well as the cargo industry. Now, half of that was in the form of grants that they did not have to repay. The other half were in terms of loans that they are repaying. And also the question becomes, what are those terms going to be? And is there enough appetite on Capitol Hill to have another package structured specifically for the airlines? That's what the first one was. Will there be another one? I'm not sure there's the political appetite there for that in Washington.